going to start in the canvas screen of Design Space. So from here you can create and edit your projects. So to find pre-made projects, on the left hand side there's the toolbar with the projects button. We're going to click the project button and we'll be in the all categories section. So in the search bar we'll type the name of the project. The card that you're looking for is called the Lovely Layers Floral card. So you could also use the link that I'm going to share in the chat to find this. So if you want to share a link with someone, you can click the little arrow button for sharing and get the link that way. So the technique I'm going to show you, you can use on any one of these cards if you want to just cut the back off the card and keep the design on the front. So when we click on this image, it will open up the options to customize or make it. We want to customize it since we're going to make a few changes to the design. So we're going to come to the bottom left-hand side of the screen here and use the minus just to zoom out. And any layers we don't need, we're going to erase. So since it's a picture frame, we don't need this envelope layer. We can select it and delete it with the X or the delete button on your keyboard. And now we just really have these layers. So the front layer of the card has a front and a back, and the back layer of the card has a front and a back. And then everything else is already a square. So you don't have to change any of these layers, just the front and the back layer. So you can tell which layers are selected because in the layer panel, it will change color. So down here, it's a dark gray, because this is the layer that's selected. But when you change to this white layer, you'll see up here the white layer changes to dark gray as well. So these are the two layers that you're going to change to make this project possible. To get rid of the half of the image we don't want, we're going to slice it off. But to use the slice button, you can only have two layers. So example, we're going to come over here to the left-hand side of the screen. And in the toolbar, we're going to select the Shapes button. And we're going to create a square. So with this square, you can change the size with the little arrow down here, or with the toolbar option up here at the top. You can change the size by just selecting one and inputting a new number. So you want this shape to be big enough that it overlaps the square behind it. And right at the score line is the halfway mark. But if we were to select everything right now, the slice button at the right-hand side toolbar isn't going to appear since we have 3 different layers selected. So before you can slice anything, you're going to need to select this base layer and detach it. So right now, these 2 layers are attached, the cut layer and the scoring line. So anytime there's a card, there's a scoring line. If you need to fold the cardstock, the line just makes it easy to fold where it's scored. So we're going to click the detach button here at the bottom. And then you'll be able to delete just this score line. So if you're unsure where it went, you can always move the white cardstock layer and then delete just the score line. So that's what we want to do again for this bottom shape. We're going to select the bottom shape. It's attached with 2 layers and a score line. We're going to click the detach button here at the bottom. You can move this out of the way and then delete the score line. Now whenever you're lining this up, you just want to put it kind of back close to where it was. If you want to make sure that it's a perfect cut, you can always make the shape perfectly the same size. So if this is 5.545, same thing with these, you can just cut it right in half. So if we make this shape a little tinier, you can look to see the width of this white piece. So here on the white piece, If you look here on the side, it's 5.558. So we're going to select the gray piece and change the width, 5.558. And if you're having a hard time getting it to align perfectly, there is buttons to help you do that. So if you're trying to get it straight and it's not going straight, you can select both of them together and use this align button here at the top. So if you center it vertically, it'll be perfectly centered. And then you'll be able to select both layers and the slice button will appear, since right now there's only 2 layers selected. So once you slice it, you'll be left with the piece that you want to keep and 2 squares that you don't want to keep that you can just delete over here. So you're going to do the same thing with this, the other shape, so we can create another square. We're going to change the dimensions to be the same, so 5.558. We can line the 2 of them up. If you're not sure about how it's lining, you can use the align button at the top, center it, and then slice. So you're left with the piece that you want to keep. And now when it comes time to assemble the layers too, this one is back at the bottom, so the solid layer is all the way here at the base. So we'll send it to the back. And you'll see the order of the layers. So the white goes in front, then the yellow, then the green, then the blue, then the pink, and then the dark blue. So when you're assembling this, if you're confused about the order, you can always look back at Design Space and place it in this exact same order. You'll also notice there's a little bit of a corner on the piece, a weird shape on this corner, so you can kind of line these pieces up, the first 3 with the corner, and these last 2 or 3 pieces as well, even the last 4 with this hole, so that makes it a little easier to line all the pieces up. You don't need to glue it together. You can just place the pieces one on top of the other in the frame. And whatever color you want to make the flowers, you can just change the color of the paper. I didn't keep the same colors necessarily that you see here either. Good luck. If you have any questions, just send me a message.